I've been bad with money all my life, but here's what I'm actually starting to learn about it. So I wanted to make this video to kind of talk about where I'm at and hopefully to help some of you guys out as well. And so if you guys are new here, my name's Akene. I kind of just make content reflecting where I'm at in life, kind of where, things that I'm into, whether it's reading, whether it's studying different things. And if you guys are into that kind of content, definitely give this channel or hit the subscribe button. And so let's get into it. So I posted on my Threads account actually, I think it was yesterday, and one of the guys responded, and what he said never tie your identity to money, basically. And it just really hit because so many of us tend to tie our whole identity to how much money we have or don't have. And so we tend to, if we have a lot of money, we tend to think we're amazing, we're better than people because of how much money we have, because of the material possessions that we have, or the things that we can buy, the cars that we drive, the houses that we live in. But what I've really started to learn is when you tie your whole personality to how much money you have, it doesn't really leave much room for you to admire anything else about yourself. It allows you to kind of look at yourself and to look at other people from such a superficial point of view. Because I'm a huge fan of Lululemon, for example. And it started to hit a point where if I was at the store or like whatever, if I saw something that was cool, my first thought would be, oh, but is it Lulu? And if it wasn't Lulu, it's almost like it like went down kind of on like the totem pole of like dopeness. And so what I started to realize though was by looking at everything from such a materialistic standpoint, I overlooked other companies and stuff that made really cool stuff that was chill, but just because it wasn't a big brand, it didn't mean that the quality was bad or it somehow wasn't as good. Because for example, like this sweatshirt that I'm wearing right now, I think it's a Gildan sweatshirt. I think I straight up ordered it from Amazon and it was like 12 or $13, but it's like I'm a huge fan of it. I love the way that it fits. But I feel like a few years ago I would have been like, but if it's not Lulu, I mean, I don't know. I might just wait until I can get a Lulu sweater on sale or whatever. And I really just had to get past that point of not looking at brand names, not getting super caught up in brand names and that aspect of materialism and all that stuff. And it really allowed me to grow this appreciation for other brands. Because the flip side to that is when you don't have much money and you tie your personality to that, you just start thinking all the time, oh, well, I don't have money. I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't buy that. I wish I had money to buy shoes, these shoes that came out, but I don't have it. And man, that means like I'm behind because my friends can buy them and I can't. And I've been on both sides really, and I feel like my whole life I've kind of teetered between the two because I haven't been good with managing money. So it's like I'll have money, I'll buy some stuff, and I won't have money, and then I'll be like, oh, why'd I do that? Dang, now I don't have money to buy this thing that I still want. And so being on both sides of the spectrum just isn't fun because you go from like feeling amazing one week, like you get paid, and then all of a sudden 2 weeks later, you're like, oh man, where'd my money go? And you're just like, oh man, actually, like I bought these Yeezys that were kind of pricey. I bought, whatever. And what that's done is I think I tied so much of my personality to money, either having it or not having it, or being able to buy things or not being able to buy things, that really my life just felt like a constant ad in a way. Like I just felt like I was constantly being like almost like marketed to. I felt this like constant need to buy things. And I started to know it was a problem when I was like, I realized how much I enjoyed buying things. And I realized that's a real problem, because whether it's buying small things like you're buying something for your house or you're going and buying shoes, I just realized how much I loved going to the store, how much I loved going to the mall. And that was when I knew like there was a problem. So I was like, I shouldn't enjoy going to the mall and spending money this much, because there's nothing wrong with enjoying treating yourself here and there in moderation. But when you enjoy going to the mall, so, excuse me, so much to the point where you're having withdrawals if you don't go for a certain period, you definitely know that you need to fix something for sure. And so, yeah, that's something I feel like now that like I'm really trying to work on. Okay, where does my identity come from? Am I putting my identity behind these material things? Am I tying my whole identity to money? Because the goal of having money, or trying to make money, the first goal is to provide a service to people, to help people, and money, of course, is a byproduct. But of course, as people of God, we want to be good stewards of that money. The goal of making money isn't just to make money and spend it, make money and spend it. The goal of having money is also to be able to positively help others, to positively impact others. And so I'm trying to work on that as well, to the point where I'm not so selfish, to the point where when I get paid, I'm instantly thinking, okay, what can I get myself? What can I buy for me, or what can I buy for my family, or whatever. I'm trying to get to a point of, okay, well, I have a little bit of extra money. Maybe I'll go to the coffee shop and tip $10, or maybe I'll go, to the restaurant, tip an extra 5, 10%, whatever. But just getting to a point where you're more open to kind of sharing and just being more open to those things. Because something another person said is a response on that video was, they mentioned the importance of tracking where exactly your money's going. So every single time you spend money, tracking it, writing it down. And that really allows you to keep an eye on, like, okay, where exactly is your money going? And I'd seen that in a video also by this one creator. Her name is Malama Life, and I love her YouTube videos because they're just super chill and super relaxing. But she had posted a video talking about that stuff as well, just kind of keeping documentation of how much money you're spending, because it can get really easy to just lose track once it gets to a certain point. We're just like, oh man, like I've spent, $50 at, Old Navy, and I forgot about it. But when you're tracking that stuff, you can see like, oh dang, I spent $200 at Sprouts. I spent $250 at Costco. I spent, you know, 100 at King Supers, like, but you're able to kind of really see, like, on a sheet of paper every single expense, whether it's gas, whether it's grocery shopping, clothing, dining. And so that's definitely something that I want to start doing as well, because I feel like even in terms of subscriptions, it gets so easy to lose track with, all the subscriptions out there. You easily forget how many you even have. And then you're like, oh, well, I meant to cancel that subscription 3 or 4 months ago. And you just forget, because oftentimes it's on auto pay, it just kind of comes out. And oftentimes, a lot of us don't pay enough attention to our statements at the end of the month. And so that's another reason why I definitely want to get into the habit of tracking all of that stuff more, and just being more aware of where exactly everything is going. And so, yeah, you guys, that pretty much wraps up this video. I hope that this video brought you a ton of value in terms of just learning how to really be a good steward of your money, and then also just not tying too much of your identity to how much money you make or don't make. Because the goal is, as long as you make enough to support yourself, to support your family, you're doing something you love, you're passionate about, that really should be the ultimate goal for everybody. And if you can't, at the end of the day, if you can't afford, some 10-bedroom mansion, like, that's okay. I used to think the goal in life was to have this huge mansion, to have, all these cars, all these shoes, all these tailored suits. But as I've gotten older, I've really started to realize the most valuable thing that you can have in this life is peace. Because you have some people that are multi-billionaires, multi-millionaires, whatever, but they don't have peace. And there's something about money, no matter how much of it you have, if you don't have peace within, there's no amount of money that's going to bring that to you. And so I hope that this video blesses you guys. I hope you guys like, comment, and subscribe as well. Also, let me know in the comments below what some of the lessons are, or some of the biggest lessons are that you guys have had to learn about money. And I hope to talk to all of you guys in the next video.